Welcome to the world of whimsy yarn. This is a new episode of our amazing stories. Today's story is about a thrilling space odyssey, uncovering the hidden civilization on the moon. So, let's begin. The spacecraft trembled under the light lunar gravity, as astronaut Will, with all his might, tried to take off away from the deep Ayles Crater. His eyes anxiously watched the strange ropes shooting up from the ground, restraining the spacecraft. "My God, what's happening here?" Will shouted in despair, hoping his signals would reach Earth. But just as the spacecraft began to lift slightly, the ropes pulled it back forcefully, preventing its escape. Moments earlier, James, Rose, and Jonathan were below, standing on the edge of the crater, staring at the illuminated glass columns that had suddenly emerged from the ground. It seemed as though they had entered a science fiction world, where small drones flew around them like bees, casting flexible yet strong metallic nets over them, restraining them and pulling them towards the center of the crater. Rose screamed, "What is this? How can this be?" In the blink of an eye, the three astronauts found themselves trapped inside a gigantic gate that opened into another world. A world full of strange creatures resembling humans in their form, but with large bodies, glowing eyes, and agile limbs akin to robotic arms. Each astronaut was held by two of these creatures, taken deep into the crater through numerous corridors, clearly revealing a non-human civilization that had developed away from human eyes. Inside, the creatures spoke in an incomprehensible language, their voices filling the place with strange frequencies. The astronaut suits were removed, and they were surprised by their ability to breathe easily within this massive structure. "How can this be? Are we dreaming?" James wondered in astonishment, as they were led to a large hall. In the hall, 5 of the creatures sat on ornate thrones, displaying wisdom and authority. One of them, appearing to be the leader, spoke in a booming voice, "I am Ayles, ruler of this place." "Who are you? And how did you get here?" But the astronauts couldn't respond, as the language was unintelligible to them. The creatures displayed on a giant screen a reel showing how the first humans were sent to Earth. Initially, the astronauts couldn't grasp the meaning of the scene, but the truth soon dawned on them. These creatures had been sending those born with physical deformities in capsules into space, away from the moon. Some capsules survived and fell to Earth, where humans began building their civilization. The creatures had found a way to survive in this barren place, exploiting the resources within the moon. The 3 astronauts quickly realized that these beings were not just creatures, but a complete civilization living under the moon's surface long before humans existed on Earth. However, these beings were suffering from a lack of resources, prompting them to think of another habitat and wanting to know where these humans came from, believing the path to their home planet would be paved. Fearing that the creatures would discover Earth's location and invade it, the astronauts tried to hide information about their home planet. But the creatures possessed advanced technologies for reading thoughts and memories. Helmets were placed on the astronauts' heads, and soon the creatures knew everything. The 3 astronauts were taken to separate cells, held under strict surveillance. Eyes, which Rose dubbed the Guardians, watched them, and the faint light surrounded them from all sides. "What will we do now?" Jonathan asked anxiously, trying to find a way out of this predicament. None of his companions answered. Their eyes remained wide with shock at what had happened. None of them could yet believe the situation. Meanwhile, the space agency on Earth was receiving garbled signals from Will, who was trying with all his might to escape with the spacecraft. But the creatures were faster, as strange ropes caught the spacecraft and pulled it back forcefully. Subsequently, he was detained in a cell next to his colleagues, making the situation even more desperate. The leaders at the space agency on Earth received Will's last message: "We failed to escape." Everyone on Earth and the moon realized there was a real possibility of an impending attack from the moon, and they had to prepare to face this mysterious threat. The 4 astronauts sat in their cells, exchanging desperate looks, with each passing moment increasing their fears of the unknown fate awaiting humans. However, there was a hidden sense of hope among the astronauts. They could no longer know what was happening on Earth, and a feeling spread among them that this moment might be the perfect opportunity to show humanity's strength and resilience. They had endured before and managed to survive the dangers of space thousands of years ago, creating a great civilization on Earth. James looked at his colleagues and said with a voice full of determination, "Every moment of failure is a true test of our ability to find another path to success." But Can humans overcome their eternal failures and conflicts and unite to face this great danger that threatens them?